Hello and welcome back to Moonlight Museum and of course 2 Point Museum. Where we last left off, we got all of the pristine exhibits from the second to last location, and off camera I went ahead and got all of those upgraded to all of the research. So now we only have one location left to complete in the Netherworld that isn't the aquarium one, which we're not going to worry about. But that is not the main point of today's episode. Today's episode, I am going to demolish this entire thing and rebuild it from scratch, basically building my perfect museum. But before we get into that, we do have to go ahead and complete our last location, which is Spiffenmore's Spire. So this is going to give us a famous spirit, a famous possession, and 2 cursed objects. We can go ahead and complete this right now. We just need... Oh, actually, that might be a trick. Oh no, we're not doing that. That's all right. We are not doing this one. We just need... Well, actually, are we getting this at all? We need 2 levels in survival, and the only person with 2 levels in survival is Divina Catborn. And that means we can't have Spirit Whispering. So we might just have to deal with this Transfogged curse and hope that it doesn't bite us in the butt. I think it should be fine. We also... Well, actually... Oh, hold on. We can send Pandora Pike. That will at the very least remove the traumatic experience, which, again, we don't really care about. But, yeah, this isn't happening. So we are just going to have to deal with this curse. That might take a little bit longer to deal with, but in the long run, I think it's going to be fine. At the very least, we are removing Hellhold, which is great to see. If we do safe, we can get 60%. If we do detailed, we get 70%. I think I'll stay with the safe for now. We can't do speedy because we don't have anyone with pilot wings in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do a whole bunch of curses. Whole bunch of expeditions. We will probably get cursed, but we'll deal with that as it happens. That is not the button to speed up the game. So we'll come back once I've got either cursed or some of the items that we need. So we'll be back in a little bit. And there is Spiffenmore's hat, one of our famous possessions. Of course, we don't have the ghost yet, so for now that is just going to live in the inventory. And we're going to make sure that we don't accidentally deconstruct it, because that would be bad. But we'll continue on. All right, we actually have a resignation warning here. I imagine this is because you were doing too many tours and you are not taking breaks. You are technically on a break at the moment. Let's just... Yeah, you're eating at the moment, so you should be fine, I hope. We've got like 3 minutes to deal with this. His hunger bar is not going up for some reason. There it is. Okay. He should be happy now. Bad cafeteria price, wants to resign. What is the cafeteria price and why is it bad? Okay. So apparently that's fair value, but that's not good enough. Let's drop that back down to 200 and see if that helps solve the problem. For now, that guy no longer wants to resign because he did get a break. So we are fine there. And we have our first... exhibit here, only average quality, so we will go ahead and deconstruct this. And it actually occurs to me that we might be better off not trying to fulfill this curse, because the way that the expeditions happen, I assume you guys already know, but we have a 1 in 4 chance of getting all of these. If we have this on, because we don't care about getting this curse at all, we have less of a chance to get this curse. So, in fact, we might be better off sending someone like Guild Fidget, who already has a traumatic XP modifier anyway. That will give us less of a chance to get this, even though it will give us a higher chance to get this, if that makes sense. So I think that is the plan here, and we're at 20% of level 2, so doing detailed isn't going to get us there. So we'll stick with safe and continue on. And we have Atlas Spiffenmore, our first famous spirit from this location. The founder of Spiffenmore Academy hoped to be remembered fondly at a distance. Sadly, being the most famous wizard in history makes you a popular target for those with a taste for magical power and cool hats. So that is cool. We have him. We can send him... Well, we can actually probably place him down right about now. I'm not going to super be concerned about whether or not he is 100% happy. He wants Dark Age decor. Do we have one of those somewhere? Yes, but it's full. That's unfortunate. We might end up leaving him in the inventory for the moment because we are about to completely replace all of the things. He wants to have a fire, a clock, antique bookcase, Spiffenmore hat, and don't share a room. So he actually wants to be all by himself. That is going to be fine. We will return him to the inventory for the moment, just like I said, because we are going to deconstruct this whole thing and rebuild everything. I don't really see the point in building a room specifically for him just to demolish it in about 3 minutes time. So we'll continue on with our expeditions, get pristine level exhibits for the remaining 2 items, get full knowledge on those, and then we'll come back. We have our first dilemma at this location. A wizard should know better. One of your explorers climbs to the summit of a ghostly tower to find a wizard casting a spell on a pineapple. I want to know what's going on. The warlock explains he's trying to turn the pineapple back into his potion partner. Their last batch went wrong, but he hopes we won't feel the need to report them to the wizarding authorities. That is going to give us an extra $5,000 and a 5% XP boost. Seems like this guy bribed us a little bit, but that is fine. It's not a negative outcome, so I'm pretty happy with that. Our very first pristine exhibit is going to be the occupied chair. We do still need 1 more to get this up to full knowledge, but in the meantime, we can go ahead and place this down. Now, I'm probably not going to be super paranoid about where this goes because, again, we are about to demolish everything, but we will at least put it down. I don't know if we'll worry about decorating it, but I can at the very least start adding some perks to it. It's currently at 45 out of 56. It just needs to be near a cursed object. It will be soon, and the decoration needs to go up. But again, like I said, I'm not particularly concerned about that at the moment. We just want to get it in so that we have it in our museum. And we will continue on. And there is our pristine helping hand. I believe that is now everything at full knowledge, full pristine level, and that is fantastic. We can go ahead and place this down just to double check that everything is correct. Rotate this around, throw it down somewhere there. You can go ahead and throw at least a dust deterrent perk on that, and I don't know, a security sticker on that one. That'll be fine. And that should be fine. So you are at 3 out of 3. You are at 3 out of 3. Everyone is happy. Now that is, I believe, all of the supernatural exhibits, barring Twiggy Longbottoms or whatever his name was, clan of famous spirits. But everything else is found. Now, I'm not going to worry about these guys, just because we haven't unlocked all of the locations where those famous spirits are. And to do that would be a huge, huge hassle. But, you know, we've got most of it. We have, at the very least, we have what I like to call completed the Netherworld. The only place we haven't done is the Grave Shallows, and that's just 2 cold water fish that I don't really want in my supernatural museum anyway. We also never actually cleared this obstruction because we never really needed to. We just sort of worked our way around it in other ways, but otherwise, this location is completely finished and we have everything that we need. If we jump into our exhibit list and we look at supernatural, everything is now at full knowledge, I believe. Let me just scan this real quick. Yep, everything is at full knowledge. Everything is at mostly full buzz. And that is absolutely fantastic. We're still making a huge profit. And now comes the fun part where we go ahead, deconstruct everything and throw it into a brand new, better looking museum with a little bit more space, a little bit more flow, all of those sorts of things. So currently everything in here is done. The only thing that I want to do is I want to get all of the guests out. And I don't know if there is an easy way to do that. I believe there is, but I can't remember how to do it. I guess we just get rid of everything and see what happens. So we are going to go into building foundations here. We are going to demolish this museum. And yes, I would like to proceed. Actually, let me just double check. Sell all buildings, room and items, store exhibits in your inventory, and send guests home. Yeah, absolutely. That is what I want to do. Let's do it. It's going to take a little bit of time. We have 1.48 million in the bank. 55 exhibits have been stored in our inventory, and we now need a helipad. I am going to let this run for a quick second, just so that all of our guests go home, unless this is all just staff, isn't it? Goodness, we have a lot of staff that we probably don't really need. Let's have a look at our staff list. We have 37 staff. Is that necessary? We have 14 experts. I'm going to say that they're probably all not necessary, but we'll keep them on for now, just in case. We have 10 assistants, 7 janitors, and 6 security guards. Honestly, that's probably not too bad. And now we need to figure out what we want to do with our museum. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the rooms tool, grab myself a building, and I'm going to build a room over here. And the reason that I want to do this is because I want my new museum to be quite organized. So we're going to throw down an entrance on here just so that it's a complete room. This will not stay. This is going to be where I organize all of my exhibits so that I know what I want to do over here, because this is going to be the main museum. We could also go ahead and purchase this plot just to see what it looks like. We can also purchase this plot if we want to. Are there any other plots that we can actually buy? I think that might be it. That's not purchasable. Oh, over here is, but that seems a little bit too far away to get into. And we can purchase the rest of that, and that one's done. Okay. I'll let the game run for a little bit as we get this unlocked. There we go. And do we want to use this is the question. I don't think I do. We can also purchase that. Let that build up for a second here. I think that's, yep, now that's done. All right, we have all of the room that we could possibly want. The thing is, I don't actually know if I want any of these rooms. These are all pre-built rooms for our spirits. I think I might actually regret doing that. If we go back into our foundations and say Demolish Museum, will that get rid of all of the stuff in there? Yes. Perfect. That is absolutely what I wanted to do. That will get us $162,000 worth of stuff. That's actually a nice little money-making tip. If you're running low on cash, buy this for 20 grand and sell it all. But yeah, I don't know if I actually want this museum. I feel like we kind of have to use it now, though. I feel like we kind of have to use it because it's sort of just there. Anyway, in the meantime, I am going to do what I said and go ahead and build this building out, just so that we have somewhere to organize all of our things, just the same as I did. Unfortunately, I had to demolish it so that we could build that other thing, but for right now, that'll be fine. All right, so I'm going to go through all of my exhibits in the inventory. I'll probably leave the ghosts out for now. Maybe we can organize them in here and use this space for something. This could maybe be like a giant staff area or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'm going to throw down all of the exhibits that aren't ghost related into here, sort of organize them into different categories, and then we'll come back at that point. So I believe that is all of the exhibits that aren't related to famous people. So I've sort of organized them into somewhat categories. I feel like this is all like house related equipment. The toilet might be a little bit weird to place down, but I think we can make it work. We have a random bust, and honestly, this sort of doesn't fit with anything else either. This is all ghost busting equipment, and then this is like a stage thing. And then of course we have all of our plants, right? The rest of this, I believe, is all, wait, why do we have, oh, common, because it's the Mudbury Festival sign. I don't know if I can replace that without it breaking, but we will see. And then the rest is either ghosts or their possessions, right? So that should be fine. I'm thinking maybe this can be 2 separate rooms. We sort of have this and this. Well, let's organize it a little bit. So this is like lounge room type decor. The clock, oh, I guess it's a phone that can sort of live in a lounge room. And then probably the rocking horse seems like a bedroom thing. This is a toilet bathroom. This could be living room. This could be living room. This can all be bedroom, I think. Like if we think kids' bedroom, I think that works. This can all be in one room because this is all ghost busting stuff. This can maybe have its own room. Does it have any requirements that it needs to be near things? It needs to be near a catacomb wall, which is fine. These are all going to be outside. I'm hoping none of these need to be near a haunted exhibit. If they are, we're just going to sacrifice the buzz. I don't know if I'm going to go for full buzz on all of these. I just want it to look as good as it possibly can. Right, so that is going to be a starting point. We also have our utilities and displays. So we have the Seance Simulator over there. We have the Sonic Claw Machine. So these are probably going to be like towards the reception and lobby. Realization Station also doesn't really mean anything to this location. That, and then we can throw the ghost dusting demo in with all the ghost equipment, right? The ghost busting, ghost tenderizing, I don't know what they do, all of that sort of thing. And I think that will work out quite well. Otherwise, we have pretty much nothing else to do apart from all of our ghosts. And honestly, I don't know where I want to put all of my ghosts. I might go ahead. Let's just do this up here. I am going to grab myself some rooms. I will make Poltergeist room. I don't know how big to make these. I'm going to make them all 5 by 5 and I'm going to give them a door. Say that's fine. And then I will just go ahead and copy this a whole bunch of times. Apparently that's not as easy as I'd like it to be. I wish I could do this multiple times without having to accept them all. Just like so. And really it doesn't matter how I lay this out because this is all going to move eventually anyway. But this is just so that I can figure out what ghosts need to be in what rooms before I make final decisions. So I'll go ahead and sort out all of my ghosts and then we'll come back from that point. All right, this should make everyone happy. We need one Dark Age room for our Atlas Spiffenmore. He doesn't want to share with anyone. This room here, Industrial Age Decor, is going to house Butch Pickles, Constance Magoose, Opal Magoose, Honoria Proudnose, and Margaret Fitzpocket. Everyone should be happy in there. This one is going to have 6 in an Industrial Age Decor room. This has Humphrey Hellhole, Captain Alternate Yesterday, Gertrude Treasury, Elkie Tacklebag, Hester Hellhole, and Tabasha Hellhole. So a lot of Hellholes in here. We also have the Hellhole Safe and the Hellhole Chair. In this room, we have Bomboma Firebelly. They don't want to share a room with anyone and they just need some natural decor. Easy enough. In this Dark Age room, we have Hassel Fork and Spoon, Lord Dennis Blackguard, and Berilith Drunkenscoat Smith, apparently. And then in our sunken room, we have the singular pirate that we have, and they are going to be happy enough as long as they have music. And then we have another natural room housing Yeva Gaiansuit, Twiggy Silverbottom, and Din Amoglyph. Twiggy Silverbottom, surprisingly, doesn't have any preference for decor, so they are going in here just because they don't really fit anywhere else. I mean, actually, you know what? They might fit better off with the pirate, to be fair. You don't want a fire and you can't have any music. Yeah, that'll work better. That way we at least have a couple of spirits in most of the rooms. The only ones that don't are the ones that don't want to share a room. And with that, I believe that is all of the things that we need to make our museum work. So I guess the next step is figuring out what we actually want this thing to look like. I would like this to have a decent flow. I'm thinking we have sort of a courtyard in the middle for all of our plants. So I guess the thing to do is to just start building. And I honestly don't know if I'm going to use this up here or not. I feel like we can fit everything we need in this section here, and I think that's going to make my little brain a little bit happier. I will go ahead and like paint the floors and stuff in here so it doesn't look like we're using it as much. I honestly kind of regret buying it, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. I don't believe we can, yeah, we can't sell it and we can't edit it, so it just is what it is. But we will go ahead and focus on doing things over here. So I'll get somewhat of a rough start going, and then I'll come back with an update. So this is where I'm going to start. I don't know how it's going to develop from here. I'm going to start by decorating the front entranceway, and I've left a little bit of outdoor space over here for some of our plants and things. Obviously the floors and all of that might change as we go along, but honestly this is going to be quite a big endeavor, so buckle up because this might be a time lapse and a half. But let's get started with some decorating and moving things across. All right, so we have our entrance. We also have two giant staff areas. I don't know what I'm going to use those for just yet, but you know, they're there in case we need them. I think this is quite a nice little entrance, if I'm being honest. We finally actually have some security gates in here as well, which should be nice. And the front is looking so much better than it used to. So that is where we're up to right now. Now I need to figure out what kind of flow I want in this museum and where I want things to be. So I think when people come out here, I kind of want them to turn left, come up here, work their way around and all the way up to here, go through here, come back out here, have maybe a gift shop or something towards the exit, and then they can leave through here. I don't know if I'm going to force them to take that path. I might go ahead and leave it up to them, but I'm going to build sort of with that idea in mind. The very first thing that I think I want them to encounter, though, is some of our less supernaturally exhibits. So I think I want these front and center because I don't really think they're going to fit anywhere else unless we put them somewhere like maybe outside the cafeteria. I haven't completely figured out where I want that to be yet either, but we're going to continue on with the time lapse. We're sort of making this up as we go. I didn't really come in here with too much of a plan, but I think it's going to work out. I think we're going to be okay. All right, our first ghosts are officially in. We did a little bit with the entrance. I don't know if these are going to stay here or not. We also built a little bit of a bathroom out here. The idea is people are going to come in, wander around this way and check out this room here. Now, not everybody in this room is completely happy. For instance, you don't want antique bookcases. For instance, you don't want a fire, but someone else wants a fire. So, you know, we're sacrificing a little bit of decor, a little bit of buzz here and there, just for the sake of making it look cool. And I think I did quite a decent job on this room. We've got a nice little separated bedroom over here with the antique bookcases, which I quite like. We have a nice little basin. We have the safe in the bathroom. We have a table. Unfortunately, I couldn't get any chairs closer to this table than that. We also have a little bit more sunken decor over here. Oh, that's actually Dark Age. And yeah, I think it looks quite good. We also have this guy sitting right by the fire, which is kind of cool. The clock is sort of just in there. It could probably move somewhere else, but I think I'm actually pretty happy with this room. Everyone's happy enough that I'm going to be able to deal with it. And otherwise, I honestly just think it looks really cool. So let me know what you guys think of our first ghost room in our new museum. I think next up is going to be placing some more of our exhibits. And honestly, I don't know what I want over here. I'm thinking maybe we do something in the middle. We could potentially make a room. And because we have so many ghosts over there, I kind of want to throw all of the ghost busting stuff in that room. So let me grab all of this and we'll jump back into the time lapse as I get this first room built out. All right, we're slowly but surely coming together now. We have a few more spaces over here that we could potentially put exhibits. I think I will leave most of this blank, but I sort of have kind of a walkway going through over to this direction and still plenty of room for people to come out through this way. So that is going to be good. In terms of what I want to put here, honestly, I'm thinking both of these, because these are both the same size and they both don't really fit in any other kind of room. So if we go into the, I think we can do it from edit building. If we grab these, no we can't. Okay, I have to put them down first. But if we put those down right about there, then we can jump into edit building, pick one of these up, and we can show ourselves the grid just to make sure that we are getting these, you know, centered where they need to be. I think I'll face them both towards the middle. Something like, where does this go? There. Something like that is kind of cool. Coming into this room, you've got two different exhibits over there. They should also be covered by these signs, which is absolutely fantastic. The only thing that I want to do maybe to make them stand out just a little bit more is go ahead and give them a little bit of a base, potentially. I kind of want that to be angled. Let me see what I can do in here with some triangles. If we make it fully diamond, is that better? Maybe. Let me try this and we'll come back once I'm happy with the results. Alright, something like that sort of works. I ended up using the rugs instead just because I think it looks a little bit better. I'm also looking at these and this doesn't look right to me. Just because the spacing on these is different to these, I'm thinking I can potentially just scooch you over, and then scooch you over so that the spacing looks a little bit better. So I'm going to do that real quick and then I'll move on to whatever's next. I have no idea what that is going to be yet, but we'll figure it out as we go. So we'll be back in a little bit. And if we're being honest, I think this is the best garden I've ever built in this game. We've got a nice fence enclosing the whole area. It's a little bit irregular. We've got nice cobble, like pebble textures. We've got some chairs around the outside, bins scattered across the place. We have the donation bin right in the middle. I believe everything is somewhat happy. You want a vine column? I don't like them, so that's not going in. You want a candle? Yeah, probably not. You want a hologram? We don't even have access to that, I don't think. You want a space button wall display? Again, not the vibe of this space. You want a snowy rock? I guess I could do that. And you want a candle. So I think the only one that I actually want to complete there is a snowy rock. And that can live, hopefully, in here somewhere, potentially. Otherwise, it's going to have to go behind it. And that's absolutely fine. You can have a snowy rock. I'm okay with that. That makes a little bit of sense. And yeah, this museum is slowly but surely coming together. You can see we have a lot of spare space. I'm thinking I might move these into this area here. I don't know 100% what I want to do with this wall. We might end up just throwing in some chairs and things like that so people can take a break if they want to. But we still have this entire section to go, and we still have at least one, if not two more sort of display rooms, as well as these things, which I don't know where they're going to go, but they'll find a space somewhere. The seance thing could come in here potentially. Let's have a look at how that looks. Let's grab it out. It is in here. Oh, we also have the ghost dusting demo, which I meant to put in this room, but I completely forgot that we owned it. So that's unfortunate. We could have it come right down the middle of this, and I don't love it. The ghost dusting demo could go on this wall too, potentially. I don't hate that. It's sort of close enough to these things that it kind of makes sense. It wants a supernatural exhibit near it. I am a little bit annoyed that this doesn't count, but it is what it is. I actually don't think I want that there. What I do want to do is go ahead and... Wrong thing. What I do want to do is see how the seance simulator looks in the middle of this room here, and the answer is it's a little bit obnoxious. I think, now that I've thought about it a little bit, we actually go for the ghost dusting demo in the middle of this room. I think that's going to be the best bet. If we throw it down somewhere like that, we can decorate around it and sort of figure out how we want that to look. These are fine here for the moment. Yeah. I'm going to continue on. I don't know what is going to be next. I'll probably decorate this out and then we'll see what we want to throw in next. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more ghost rooms that we need to build. I think I want to build them somewhat close together. I also would like a tour guide over here somewhere. The question is where, because these all have perfect cohesion with each other, right? So getting a tour guide in here would be beneficial to us. These won't be covered if I remove that, because that's the perfect spot for it. Let's see if we can move this somewhere else. I'm going to get rid of it for the moment. Yeah, I'll come back once I've figured out what I actually want to do here. Okay, I think this part of the museum is officially finished. I think. And I am really happy with the progress so far, but I have been recording for 2.5 hours. So this, as usual, as some of my old regulars will know, might have to turn into a 2-part series. I don't know how long this video is because we did a lot of time lapses, but let me quickly just jump into photo mode for a second and give you a quick little tour of what we have done so far. We have our front entrance. Ignore all our stuff in the ground. They'll figure it out eventually. We have our nice little entrance here. leading into our reception area. This has some nice seating, a few bins, and a little bit of decoration. This might need a little bit more work as I am looking at it now. Then we lead into the museum common. And this is what you're greeted with. It's pretty clear that you are meant to go through this room over to here, and you will find all of our ghosts doing their thing. You'll come out through here, play with the Ghostbuster demo if you would like to, before heading out into our spooky little garden. And I honestly think this turned out better than anything else that I could have done. If you guys have any thoughts on how I did, that would be absolutely fantastic. And then you're leaded back into the main section of the museum. This is mostly probably going to be filled with ghost rooms, but please do let me know if you have any thoughts or ideas in the comments down below. I'm sorry if this is a shorter video. Like I said, I did a lot of time lapses, so I have no idea how long the video actually is with me talking and all that. But if you guys are enjoying the series and are excited for the final episode in a few days, please do let me know down in the comments below. If you're enjoying the series as a whole, make sure to leave a like and a comment for the sake of engagement. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. But until next time, happy building, happy curating. Bye, guys.